This past weekend, there was some devastating news from the world of entertainment. The well-known actor from the TV show Friends was found unresponsive in his jacuzzi and had passed away. And I think that we should have a conversation about grief. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Before I do, just a quick reminder. I'm Elliott Connie. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. And here in the Therapist React series, I like to talk about things going on in the news and in pop culture to highlight psychological lessons and psychotherapeutic aspects of these stories so we can improve our mental health and live the best lives possible. I feel for Matthew Perry and his family. Apparently he was out playing 2 hours of pickleball. When he came home, he sent his assistant to run an errand, and then he was found unresponsive in the jacuzzi. And people are speculating because he had a chemical dependence issue, I believe it was alcohol at some point in his life. They're speculating that drugs and alcohol were involved. People on the scene were saying there were no drugs involved in his system. I don't know, and I actually don't think that is relevant. It doesn't matter whether the drugs or alcohol were involved. What matters is a person lost his life, and a lot of people are gonna grieve, both personally or so many of us were so used to seeing Matthew Perry in our living rooms once a week through the TV show Friends that we're gonna experience a loss, and that's okay. It is okay if you experience a sense of loss, even if you did not know Matthew Perry. I remember a few years ago when Kobe Bryant passed away, I had a tremendous sense of loss and I couldn't figure out why. I was trying to sort out in my own thinking, like, why am I responding to this? Even though I'd never met Kobe Bryant, even though he had never met me and I don't know him, he doesn't know me, he was a part of my life through his fame. I followed him on social media and I'd followed his athletic career. So it wasn't like losing a friend, but it was like losing someone who was a part of my life. And Friends, the TV show, was so iconic. I know there are many people out there that are struggling with a sense of loss, even though you may have never have personally met or encountered Matthew Perry. And that's okay. That's okay for you to feel that sense of loss because it really is a loss. And grieving is nothing more than dealing with a loss. Sometimes we think of grieving as specifically one type of loss or another, but grieving is just dealing with any sort of a loss. And as people in LA and knowing some people in the entertainment community, I've been texting a few people this morning about this, and also people just that are fans. You're gonna experience a loss, and that's okay. So let's talk about healthy grief. And I will say there is no right way to grieve. Grieving is a personal endeavor. Grieving is something that is unique to you and your situation. I remember not too long ago, I had a family member pass away, my grandmother, and I was so torn up. And I said to a friend, like, I don't have the strength to take my grandmother out of my phone. It was just on my mind. I was like, I don't think I have the strength to delete her contact information out of my phone. And my friend said, you don't have to. And I was like, wow, that is such a powerful concept. Like, oh, I don't have to delete my grandmother from my phone. So I haven't. My grandmother's contact is still in my phone all these years later. And that's just my way. That's what I needed to do. And other people might do the exact opposite. So whether you know Matthew Perry or not, if you find yourself grieving, just remember there is no correct way to grieve. That is a personal thing. It's a personal endeavor that you must do in your own way. However, there is a wrong way to grieve, and that is to do maladaptive things to cope with the loss. So typically the way that shows up is the loss is so difficult, painful, and hurtful. We do things to not experience those things. We drink, we use drugs, we engage in other kind of behaviors that lead towards problems. We become promiscuous. That is actually a very common response when you are dealing with grief. So even though there's no right way to do it, there's a wrong way to do it. So do healthy things. Celebrate the lost person in your life. Do things that bring you back in touch with who you are. Experience the emotions because they're normal. It is actually abnormal not to experience emotions when you've had a grief and loss situation. So be human. Understand it's gonna hurt. Understand you have to cope. Create new routines and rituals now that a lost loved one or there's a missing piece to your life. But just remember, there's no correct way to grieve, but there's a wrong way to grieve. So don't do anything that creates harm in your life, that creates negative habits in your life, that creates cycles in your life that have long-lasting problems. So that's my message today. There's no right way to grieve, but there's a wrong way to grieve. So take care of yourself, experience the emotions, and be the best version of yourself that you can. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment below how this actor or this TV show touched you, what you thought of this video. I would love to read your comments and hear all of your thoughts about this story. I try to read every single comment. I try to reply to every single comment. It's getting harder these days for lots of reasons, but I still try to reply to every single comment. And please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell so you get notified each and every time we release a video here on this channel, which is every single day, Monday through Friday, in the Therapist React series. Thanks for being here. I love y'all so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.